Good evening, everybody. This is Leo coming at you once again with a video diary entry for the book Thorns by Bridgett, Devoue. Compilation of poetry and thoughts and lessons learned and all of that wonderful stuff. Um, so today was a great day. Today was amazing. Had a beautiful walk out in nature. Very refreshing, very regenerative. Just I'm rejuvenated, beyond words. Honestly, it's like I just came out from under a waterfall. Is what I feel like this Saturday has brought me. So I'm quite refreshed, and I figured I'd just come at you with, some of my thoughts on this particular poem that I'm going to share with you tonight from her book, Thorns. But to go ahead and dive right into it, tonight's segment, if I could really synopsisize it for you, I would probably say a realization. A realization. And what I mean is, at this point, we've journeyed through what we've wanted to happen and what we thought should happen within this relationship concerning Bridgett. But at this point, we have basically confirmed everything that I've been saying from the get-go. You know, was there ever really love existent within this relationship? Or were you simply, someone for him to have around for his own convenience? You know? So a realization, but, questions. We are trying to gain an understanding. You know, we are trying to gain an understanding, but I'm probably going to give her a lot of side advice, in this segment. 'Cause like I said, some of the, like a good portion of the poetry I can really relate to, but then some of it, I understand where she's coming from, but then I have to kind of give her sort of that brotherly advice, you know. So to go right into it, tonight's poem reads, "You walked away far too easily for me to believe it was ever truly love." I'm going to read that again. "You walked away far too easily for me to believe it was ever truly love." Video diary entry titled, "How Does He Define It?" How does he define it? That would be a question for Miss Bridgett here. In asking that question, I have to really dig for answers as far as what this guy defines as love. You would think that love kind of has this black and white answer. You know what I'm saying? You would think love kind of has this sort of black and white essence tied to it, but believe it or not, everybody doesn't view love the same. And just a side note, the music in the background, it's not meant to sound, bitter or anything or saddening. It's actually meant to be healing, and coming to this realization and even asking these questions and sort of getting to the bottom of things. We're sort of healing and we're slowly kind of wrapping up the Scar series, but we're having to really face the reality here. But we got to ask a question. I have to ask her, I must know, how does he define love? The guy you were with, how does he define it? You know, Bridgett, you had your thing, but this goes back to having that open and honest conversation. You know, where do we stand? You know, are you two in alignment with each other? Are y'all on the same page as far as this love relationship is concerned? You know, because what you define as love and what he defines as love could be totally different things. But see, if that's never discussed and brought to the forefront, your relationship is bound for destruction. You see what I'm saying? When two people are not on the same page as far as what they define as a loving, you know, intimate relationship, a loving relationship, it's a recipe for disaster. You know, you're looking for something long term. His definition of love might be the sex that you give him. Some people only see love from an erotic standpoint, you know, and others see love as communication, honest communication between two people, you know, getting to know each other on a personal level, having a friendship, and building your relationship off of that. Others define love that much deeper than a sexual union or connection, you know, in the physical sense, you know, of the term love. You know, love has many different, you know, meanings. There's eros, you know, there's agape, you know. There's all different types of love. Eros being romantic, you know, sensual. Agape being sacrificial, you know, platonic love, you know, love between friends. You know, how does he define love? Where was he at in this whole thing? Where was he at up here and in here? And that's the question, you know, per the video diary title, that I have to ask her. You know, Bridgett, how does he define it? So, to go ahead into some of the poetry, you know, some pretty thought-provoking questions. You know, it kind of leaves you wondering, like, you know, what sense is this making? You know, how do we make sense of this? You know, post-breakup questions, really. But into the poetry, the first piece titled, So Help Me Understand. So help me understand. What exactly were you seeking, my love? Was it a fling, a fast relation, agile as the shot of a bullet to the forehead and walk away? A hit and run, I believe they call that, but I'd like to know your thoughts. Perhaps somewhere within this valley of confusion, we might cross paths with a passionate breath of clarity, uncovering to uncover you, to understand. So please, my love, please help me. So help me understand, basically just what it says. You know, help me understand what your mode of thinking was. You know, even this music right here, when I first played it, sort of reminded me of a situation a few years back that I found myself in, you know, having fallen for somebody, but never really realizing this person's motives. You know, of course, obviously years have passed and I'm long past it, but I remember on This music I remember on a particular night is what this music reminds me of, where this music takes me back to. Me and a friend of mine sat by the beach. You know, we sat by the ocean at night and we talked. You know, we kind of went to that spot to really gain some clarity. And my friend really helped me understand some things, that what you thought was love wasn't. You know, this person showed no interest. You know, they were likely after you for, whatever they thought they could get out of you at that particular moment. You know, but you didn't succumb to that. Me, I didn't succumb to that. But you were caught up in somebody showing you attention and everything. And maybe you did share a kiss, and a very passionate one, but it wasn't love. And the other night when I read this, I said to myself, somebody who could just easily walk away like that, after you've done all of this to showcase, how much you care for them and everything. They didn't see your worth. They didn't see who you were from the get-go. They didn't recognize this from the get-go. And that's again where I've been saying, even in preceding diary entries, this realization that we've had this arduous time coming to, we're now slowly really starting to cement ourselves in the reality that is unfolded. And we're sort of driving further away from the fantasy. You know what I'm saying? But yes, so help me understand. Basically just what it says. And the next one, the poetic piece, asking him the question, what is love to you? What is love to you?